Yo, guys, I hope you're well. So, guys, it looks like we here in the UK are not the only people who are prepared to stand up and tell our leaders that we are not prepared to die for the Ukraine. So, here in the UK, we are prepared to stand up to that tyrant Starmer. But there was a march in Paris a few days ago, standing up to Macron, standing up to the EU, standing up to NATO to tell them that they are not prepared to let their children die for this Ukraine, whatever it is. So, guys, I just want to watch this. We got it here. And yeah, so this is from the channel APT. And I just want you to see it for yourself and to make up your own opinion. So let's check it out.
Freedom.
And you can see here, guys, there are some posters, cards, whatever you want to call them, called Frexit. So here in the UK, we have Brexit, and I've seen it in many other countries. There've been many other countries who want to exit away from the EU. And here on my channel here at Tornit TV, I am going to try and focus a lot more on the EU and on European countries, because it's all well and good to talk about the UK from our perspective. But to get the proper perspective and get the wider picture, we have to look even further afield to see how what happens in Europe really does affect what happens here in the UK. But here, this is in France, excuse the French, if you excuse that faux pas. Sorry, I just did the headphones there. You want to see what happened here on this march, and it looks like there's a lot of people here, and they are not happy with people like Macron.
Ursula.
And they're talking about Ursula von der Leyen. Ursula, shut up.
A fraternity. Oh, the news is bad that she comes. Macron.
It says the European Union wants to push us.
The European Union wants to push us towards something very serious. Obviously, look at what the Secretary General of NATO said yesterday, the day before yesterday. We must prepare to experience a war of the same scale as the one our grandparents and grandparents and great-grandparents experienced. That is to say, the world wars, in fact. Except that the Third World War would be thermonuclear, so with at least 50 million dead. Is that what we really want, or do we just want to resume a more or less normal and calm dialogue with a country called Russia?
You see, and I've been saying this for a very long time, there's many reasons why they want this Third World War to happen. And they need a boogeyman as such, and that is Russia, a fall guy, someone to blame, just like they did in the First World War. They need a flashpoint, but it's always engineered. It doesn't happen per chance, per coincidence. And for years, I think ever since 2020, they've always fingered Russia as the whatever in every single situation. So this gentleman here was talking about the Third World War. So the economy is down in the gutter, not just here in the UK, but all over Europe. If the EU was so great, then why is every single person trying to swim the English Channel to get here to the UK? If the EU was the field of gold, then why are these so-called immigrants not staying in the EU, in Brussels, France, Holland, Germany, whatever, to get their ducats? They're coming here to the UK because the EU is not what it's said to be. It really isn't. Look at these Frexits. Look at that Frexit. French exit. Where have they? You don't see that anywhere here on Sky or the BBC. You don't see that. I saw it years ago in places like Holland, even in Italy. They all want exit out of the incredibly insane European Union.
I can never be reassured by Fundal, Macron, Merz, and Starmer. These people worry me deeply because it is clear that they do not live for the interests of their people or for the common good. They live for other agendas, they have ideological agendas, they have personal agendas, and so I cannot be reassured by these people. They didn't reassure me during COVID or on any topic. Macron has never reassured me, if you like, so I have no reason to be reassured by Macron. I am
Macron. Ugh.
very worried about these people, and I hope that the people will be able to get rid of them as quickly as possible politically.
This gentleman has hit the nail right on the head. So we just had the story just a day or so ago of the private messages on Signal between Macron and Ursula von der Leyen, which von der Leyen deleted because she said it was taking up capacity on her phone. But the EU is meant to be open and transparent. So this flies against all the EU policies and all the EU platitudes. We are being lied to by all of our leaders on a daily basis. So guys, I'm only going to watch a bit. Sorry, guys, I'm only going to watch a bit more of this video. I'm going to leave the link for the video for you guys to watch in its own entirety at your own leisure. But it's just to give you a flavour that here in the UK, we're not alone. We have our brothers and sisters all throughout Europe who agree with us about what's going on. We are being led. We are being led on a leash to fight a war in Ukraine, which no one understands. Which no one understands why they are pushing for war, whereas our friend Donald Trump is pushing for peace. They are pushing for war, and they are pushing for European lives to be lost on the battlefield.
I could not say what their intentions are behind it, but I think that there is an excess and a sense of seriousness among Western leaders today that is not worthy of a head of state.
Not think that we are sliding towards a war. Because thanks to the election of Mr. Trump and Vladimir Putin, there won't actually be a war.
He just ripped up the European Union flag. I want to see if we can go back there a second. Look at that. So we see here the European Union flag, the one that Ursula von der Leyen wraps around herself at all times. And this gentleman here is telling her what we think of it. Look at that. That's torn it.
No, not worth.
I think they were singing the Marseillaise there as well. I think that's the Marseillaise they were singing.
No, not worried.
I think that reason will prevail, and that the people in Europe who want war will no longer be present within a year.
Okay.
Macron, we won't wage war. Move.
It makes absolutely no sense, especially since the former one was dismissed in a messy way, and this general, well, I don't know, he's only one in name since he's in Macron's pocket. He was chosen by Macron, so no, it makes absolutely no sense.
So that lady's talking about the merry-go-round of French prime ministers coming, going, coming every other week. No one knows who's going to be there. It's almost like musical chairs with the prime ministers in France, because the French economy is in a state as well. They are in debt up to their eyeballs. So all these people going on about Europe, the EU being a panacea. Really? Really? This is why they are pushing for war. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video there. I'll put a link to the full video for you guys to watch it. But it's just for you to know that we are not alone here in the UK. Our brothers and sisters in Europe are beginning to wise up. They're beginning to get up, and they're beginning to stand up, and they're beginning to tell their leaders that we are not prepared to die on the battlefield for your insane, whatever you've got in your heads, your insane insanities. We are not prepared to die for you. Guys, let me know down here in the comment section what you think about that. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your views. And make certain, guys, you look after yourselves, you look after each other, and I will see you at the next one.